So method one was where we changed things first to improper fractions. And then once we had improper fractions, then we did adding and subtracting like before, where we got a common denominator. So if I start by changing these both to improper fractions, 3 and 1/5, well, 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1. 3 and 1/5 is the same as 16 over 5. And 1 3/4, well, 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7. 1 3/4 is the same as 7 over 4. Now, if I want a common denominator between 5 and 4, it's going to be 20. So that means I'm going to need to multiply 5 by 4 and 16 by 4. 16 times 4 is 64. Subtract, and here I'm going to need to multiply by 5 and by 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 64 minus 35 is 29 over 20, or 1 9/20 if you want to change it back to a mixed fraction. So you could leave it as the improper fraction as 29 over 20, or change it to 1 9/20. Depends on what the question says. Sometimes the question will say, leave your answer as an improper fraction. Sometimes the question will say, change your final answer to a mixed number. So that's using method one, and that's what I'd recommend for subtracting. Try this one on your own. No, you just need to pass. Now, 1 1/2 minus 3 3/5. 1 1/2, if you go 1 times 2 plus 1, you get 3 as an improper fraction. It would be 3 over 2 minus 5 times 3 is 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 over 5. Now those are both improper fractions. Let's get a common denominator, which will be 10. We'll have to multiply this 2 by 5 and this 3 by 5. 5 times 3, 15. And we'll have to multiply this 5 by 2 and this 18 by 2. 18 times 2 is 36. So now we have 15 over 10 minus 36 over 10. If you're at 15 and you subtract 36, you're going to get to negative 21. So our answer will be negative 21 over 10, or negative 2 1/10. So negative 7 over 4 minus negative 3 1/3. Is that too small? Should I make it a little bigger? Zoom. So first thing we did here is subtracting the negatives, same as adding. Now we're going to write them both as improper fractions. Remember, if you have a fraction, the whole fraction's negative, you can write that negative with the top number. So I'm going to write the negative 7 over 4 as negative 7/4. And 3 1/3, did you get 10 over 3 as the improper fraction? So now as a common denominator between 3 and 4, common denominator is going to be 12. That means I have to multiply my 4 by 3. So I multiply the negative 7 by 3, and I get negative 21. The 3 has to get multiplied by 4 to get 12, so I have to multiply the 10 by 4. 4 times 10 is 40. Negative 21 plus 40 is 19. Again, I think about my number line. I think if I start at negative 21 and I need to add 40, I need to go this way 40. One of the things that I do for mental math when I'm trying to figure this out is I say to myself, well, it's going to take me 21 just to get to 0. And I need to go 40 in total. Well, what else do I need to add to make sure that I go up to 40? I need to go 19 more. And that's how I know I end at 19. That's one of the ways that I work with negatives. I think if I've got a negative 21 plus 40, well, it's going to take me 21 just to get to 0. And then I need to go 19 more to make sure I've added 40. So 19 over 12 is our answer. Or if you wrote it as a mixed number, would be 1 7/12.